Today I'm talking about psychology. General psychology is a class that everyone should take. It's usually a 5-credit course, depending on how long it is. What you learn in there is the foundation of psychology. You learn about the founders of psychology and different methods that they used, such as Freud, that a lot of people are familiar but not that familiar with necessarily, since a lot of Freud stuff was not discontinued but just not followed to the nth degree, we'll say. I'm all like past about 1962. Now Freud had talked about the Oedipus complex. I'm all like, but he talked about id and ourselves, and the ego, and had a little thing about his mother that was interesting, kind of Hera-esque, but you'd have to know your mythology to go there. Anyways, in his teachings, a lot of his stuff had to deal with self. You could take Freud's stuff and build stuff off of it pretty easily. Something that I would say that applies like 90% of the time is when people are having a problem or an issue, it's not usually with you. Even if they're coming at you, it's not about you. It's about them. It's about them having a crappy day, a crappy life. It's about their past. It's about something else. If you actually care about this person or what they think, then, delve in and go, geez, that was kind of harsh. Something going on? Because you don't usually act like that, or at least you don't act like that towards me. This can, inspire hopefully a conversation about whatever it is that's really bugging them. You had Carl Jung. Well, we still have a lot of Jung, Jung, around. I do love the Pavlov's dog thing, where they trained the dog with food and a bell, and to salivate, bring the food, salivate, ring the bell. You do that enough, and then you could ring the bell and he would start salivating even though the food wasn't there. This is rudimentary conditioning. This is something that has been explored and expanded upon for decades, but really it probably started a couple hundred years ago with different methods of training, I guess we'll call it. Most of it now, though complex, is illegal because of the things that it can do to a person, their brain, their personality, and all sorts of stuff involved in there. Subliminal conditioning is actually pretty common, even coming through things like YouTube, Prime Video, Voodoo, what's that one that's the stuff that you hook up to your TV that hooks up to the internet? That's pretty common. Subliminal conditioning can involve sound, words, voices, things that are too subtle for you to hear in the background, like say while a movie's going on. There can also be imagery flashing in between, like say you're watching a movie and you've got words flashing and maybe some images flashing. It can slowly eat away or chip away at a person's resistance to certain things. There's been large advances in military conditioning, and they don't really talk about it, not with the public. I'm all like, but that has been taken and used in CDs. If you want to talk about underlayering or inner layering of subliminal tracks in music, there might be one in a Cranberries CD that relates to suicide, that was found out about 3.5 months ago. The CD was made in the, I don't know if that was the 90s or the early 2000s, something like that. The song is Free to Decide. I'm not sure if the whole CD, pertains to it, but in that particular song, it was discovered that there was subliminal underlaying about suicide, and it can be really subtle but powerful, especially if someone listens to it over and over again. Things like that, are what we would call beneath the surface and affect our subconscious, what I call like our back brain, or what's on the back burner, what's going on behind what's happening right now. Right now I'm taping something, I'm talking, but I've got background noise, I've got other things going on. That's still in the front ground. What's not is if I had music on in the background, or a movie, or different things on, like my phone or something. We've been learning that cameras in our electronics, not just webcams that we've gotten to go with our computers, but cameras in electronics like this iPad, like our phones. Some cable boxes have a camera in it, including the ones that you use for Dish Network, and it's not just pertaining to them. I'm all like, I don't know if they put them in there or not, but we've become, like a show to people, and it's kind of beyond ridiculous. Now, you should also know that if you are in a hotel room or things like that, there might also be a camera in your TV or the little cable thing there. So please, they're, teeny tiny. I'm all like, they can be, I can say about this big. I'm all like, can be hidden within your TV, especially if it has Wi-Fi or HDMI capabilities. That means that if you have Wi-Fi in your home, or if you have something hooked up to your TV that's Wi-Fi ready, they can kind of hack in or reverse the signal and see you. This is not with permission. This is not something that's publicized, but it is out there. I'm all like, it's kind of a sad condition of the human state to be so voyeuristic that you would invade a person's home and electronics and get into their life. There are some vehicles that have cameras and computers in them that have cameras as well. So believe it or not, most of our world is on camera. It's just a matter of someone's picking up the signal, kind of like a phone. If someone's answering the phone, or if someone's listening in. Listening devices are 3 to 1 more common than cameras. So make sure on your electronics that you go through each app and disable the camera, disable the microphone, because they can hear. I'm all like, if your iPad or phone is doing something where when you're talking, it's writing, and you didn't turn it on, chances are someone has gotten into your electronics. They did this to me, which meant every word that I was saying was being basically written out. I never turned it on. In fact, I turned it off like 3 different times, and it kept coming back on, and I had never turned it on in the first place. It took me forever to find out where the heck that thing was. So what I'm saying here is that was kind of a sidetrack, but psychology is really important, okay? People with mental health issues, we're going to say 3 out of 4 people has at least one mental health issue, whether it's depression, anxiety, like those are really, really common. Seasonal affective disorder, there's a post-traumatic stress disorder, varying degrees, all sorts of stuff. But 9 out of 10 people or more, so 90% of like people with mental health problems are not violent. I'm all like, now that does not preclude them from hurting themselves. Just so we're clear on that. The whole thing is that self-harm is misunderstood big time. It was originally thought to be something that, and so is self-mutilation. I'm all like, but self-harm is misunderstood in that it was first assumed that it was an attention-seeking thing. Now, it might be an attention-seeking thing if this person does it in a spot that people notice it, like every time they do it. That is that kind of cry for help and whatever else. But if they're doing it in a spot that is not seen, that is not whatever, and it gets discovered, please don't make that assumption, and please don't go there with it. I'm all like, there is something going on with that person that you do not understand, and just because you don't understand it, and you don't understand what they're doing, doesn't mean that they're violent, doesn't mean they're psychotic, doesn't mean that they have issues that can't be addressed. It simply means that they might be in some sort of pain that you don't understand, and they're taking care of it the only way that they've been able to cope with it. Another way to cope is using drugs or alcohol, numbing themselves out, or just getting away from what they've got going on in their head. I call them zombies in their head, or luggage. It can be from all the way from childhood, or it can be something that happened as a youth or as an adult. I'm all like, including veterans. I'm all like, you have no idea what it's like going into combat, just like I don't, because I haven't been in combat. And yet, we don't treat these people with respect. We don't treat these people the way that they should be treated. They are not getting what they were promised. I'm all like, as far as like the GI Bill goes, as far as medical care goes, as far as the best that we can give them goes. We are still afforded what freedoms that we are because people fight, I'm all like, to help other people, to free other people, and to keep this country free. I'm all like, that you really can't put a price on, so why the heck are you not taking care of people? The whole thing comes down to, you just don't understand. And if you don't understand, that doesn't mean you need to discriminate, be prejudiced, or hate on someone, or treat them or mistreat them based just solely on your, whatever rudimentary, elementary judgment. I'm all like, we are not in grade school anymore, people. Grow up. I'm all like, people have real issues. They're dealing with them in unhealthy ways. Point blank. I'm all like, that means that you need to sit down, shut up, and listen, or just sit down and shut up. That'll conclude part 1. Thank you so much. Have a fabulous day.